Good morning. I hope everyone is doing well today. We are going to be working on our fruit series. So these are the 4 we have done so far in this series. And we are going to continue that series. We have 3 more to go in this series. So hey Kinder Kelly, how's it going? So we have the watermelon that we did the first day. Then we did the blueberry. Then we did the pineapple. Then we did the strawberry. And today we're going to do an orange. Thank you for the heart me, Kinder. I appreciate that so much. I'm going to share this out so that you guys that normally paint with me will get a notice, because I know that sometimes life gets in the way and we lose track of time. So I want to make sure that everybody gets the notice. And I hope that you guys are having an amazing Wednesday morning. I am actually doing well this morning. Like, I'm ahead of schedule. I'm feeling like I've gotten some really good stuff already done this morning, which is crazy to me because I'm normally running behind by this time of day. So, there's that. All right. Okay, so if you guys will tap the screen, share this out, let everyone know that we're on, repost all the things so that we can get started on our fruit series today. We're going to be using the Meeden watercolor palette, the 96 color palette today. Hey, Rhonda. How's it going? Glad you're here. Thank you so much. Hey, Ginger. How are you? So glad you're here. We are about to kind of go through what we're going to use today and get started on our orange today. So everybody get your supplies ready. I'm going to be using the Meeden 96 color palette. And hang on one second. I got to get to that palette. There it is. I'm going to be using the 96 color palette. Hey, Stacy Lee. It comes with this detachable mixing tray. It comes with 48 primary and secondary colors. It comes with 30 metallics, 12 macaroons, 6 neons, and your brush, your pencil, your eraser, and 2 art sponges. So this is the perfect palette if you're wanting to start watercoloring and you've never done it before. But also if you're a seasoned watercolor artist, then you're still going to love these paints. They're buttery and creamy and beautiful and all the things. And as you can see, they turn out super bright and vibrant. Love, love, love these paints. So we're going to be using those. We're going to also be using the Meeden paper. As you can see, this paper is beautifully textured. It has this amazing texture to it. It absorbs really well and gives you really vibrant and bright colors. I use the 5x7 size, and the reason that I like that size is because it holds 4 ACEO sizes. So if you like ACEO sizes and you want a really good paper for those, then this 5x7 size is perfect because you don't have any waste. You can get exactly 4 2.5 by 3.5 inch sizes with no waste in the paper, so nothing goes in the trash bin. And so with this whole pad of 20 sheets, you can get 80 ACEOs out of this, which is great. It is a cold press 100% cotton, and it is a gorgeous, amazing, beautiful paper. And it is what I use pretty much exclusively, and you can see the texture there. Gorgeous. All right, so that's the paper that we're going to be using. The other thing that we will be using today are the Meeden brushes. Keep in mind, you do not have to have the same supplies that I have to do our tutorials with us every day. So grab what you have and join us. It does not matter if it is the same as what I have. okay? I want you guys to paint with us. I don't care if you have the same stuff that we have. These are the Meet and brushes. I have the 4-brush set. They do make a 9-brush set. I love, love, love this set for several reasons. The very first and most important reason that I love this set is because they don't rust. So this metal around the ferrule is not going to rust. Therefore, you're not going to end up with rust in your paintings, which is very important. The second reason I love these is because they don't shed, because this ferrule is super incredibly tight and it holds these bristles in. They are synthetic squirrel hair and they will not shed into your art, which is also very nice. They have a short handle, so it's easy to control your strokes. They also are designed to reduce hand fatigue, so that is also a plus with this pack. Now, I will tell you that they are priced really well. The price point on these is great comparatively to professional brush sets. So this is a professional brush set that will not break the bank. So if you're looking for that, then I would suggest you take advantage of the flash sale that's going on. It's only going on through, I think, midnight tonight, and then it's going off. So if you would like to take advantage of that flash sale and grab you a set of these brushes, I would do that right now before the flash sale ends at midnight tonight. Okay. All right. Let's see. The other thing that you're going to need is a waterproof pen. I'm going to be using the Grabby multi-liners. So I'll be using these black Grabby multi-liners. Additionally, a pencil. And this is the pencil set that I will be using. Let me find it, because I don't know that I put it in here, which is super irritating. Let's see. See if I can find it. Here it is. All right, so here is the pencil set that I'll be using. I love a good mechanical pencil set. So, hey, Jamie, how's it going? Let me catch on some comments so I can see. I started using the movie paper. Yes, it does, doesn't it, Kelly? It makes a big difference. Yay, Rhonda, I can't wait. I want you to start painting with us. Thank you for the rose, Jamie, and the heart me. I appreciate that. And the populars. Love, love, love. Stacy Lee, how's it going? We are going to do an orange today, Rhonda. Sorry, I'm catching up on comments, so y'all just be patient with me. I think I got everything. I think that's all the comments that came through. Thank you guys so much for all those gifts. Those are always important. They help us. Those gifts do help us kind of get the live pushed out as well. So any gifts that you can give is amazing, guys, and I appreciate them so much every time. I hope that you can get it, Stacy Lee, because then you're going to feel better. I mean, it's never good to have surgery, but when you get it and feel better, it's worth it in the long run. So these are the pencils that I'm using. This is the Nick Pro set. It's got the 0.5, the 0.7, the 0.9. It also has 3 of the 2.0s. It has all your different lead hardnesses. It's got extra erasers, extra lead, all the things. And it comes in this little case right here, which is amazing because you can take it in your bag and you can draw and sketch on the go. So I will be using the 0.5 today, and that is the pencil I will be using. Okay, so let's get going on our I know it is scary, but I'll be praying for you, and you know that God's got you. He has you in his hands. All right, sorry, I have to still be drinking. My throat is still not up to par, so I've still got some of that congestion going on that I've had last week when I was sick. So y'all just bear with me, please. Okay, tap the screen. If we get to 30,000, I will be doing a giveaway. I don't have a set of earrings in here to show you guys because I am out of the ones that I had inside, so I'll have to go out back and grab some, but will do a giveaway if we get to 30,000. I have this set, but I don't think that these are, I mean, I think these are super cute, but I don't necessarily think that they're very practical. They are for like a special thing. So, but we'll do some. I'll pull some, and whoever wins, I will let you pick out of a few different options if we get to the 30,000 mark, which means we've got to tap that screen. All right, Stacy Lee, thank you so much for the heart me. Jess, thank you for the heart me. All right, we're doing the orange today, so let me show you guys exactly what that looks like, because, oops, hang on. I need to find it. There it is. All right, so this is what we're going to be doing today. Right here is this little orange to go with our fruit series. I'm going to pull it up in a larger format for you guys so y'all can screenshot it if you need to, because I know that some of you guys like to have it on a screenshot, and I want you to have that on your screenshot so that if you need it, you can use it. All right, so this is your opportunity to take a screenshot of what we are painting today if you need a larger version of it. So go ahead and screenshot that now before we get going. And then we will get started on this cute little orange today. Now, while everybody is getting their supplies and all the things ready to paint, I want to tell you guys what we're going to be doing on Friday, because you're going to need to prepare in advance for that. So we've talked about doing a Mother's Day, something for Mother's Day. So what I decided to do, instead of a card, we are going to do I'm going to do a hymnal page, and we are going to paint on it, okay? So the idea behind it is to do something like, hang on, let me pull it up for you guys, because I want y'all to see. Let me see right here. Home feed. Hang on one second. I got to pull it up. Something like this. So the idea is we're going to take the hymnal page and we're going to paint on the page itself, and then you can like stick it in a frame, or you can put it onto a piece of wood. So these are kind of my inspiration for all of that. So that is what I plan to do on Friday. Okay, so if you want to participate in that on Friday, you're going to need a page out of a book, or if you have a hymnal like I do, you're going to need to grab a page out of your hymnal, whichever song that you prefer for your mom. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to paint onto it, and then after that, I think what I'm going to do on mine is kind of burn the edges around the paper and place it onto a piece of wood, and then Mod Podge that down, so that it can, so that I can put it onto something that she can put on her shelf. So, yes, Jody, here is the one that I'm looking at to possibly do something similar to that. But these are all the ones that kind of, there's just some ideas behind here of just different things. So, and all I did was went into the interest site, which starts with a P, and I typed in hymnal crafts. So hymnal craft ideas is what I typed in, and so that's where I kind of got my stuff. And so that is what I'm going to do. So these are the two I've picked out, one for my mom, and then I'm also doing one for my mom's very best friend, because she's like a second mom to me, and I really want to do something for her as well. So I'm going to do two of them, but these are the ones that I picked out. I picked out the Holy, 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 because I love that it has the Baptist hymnal right here. This one's going to be for my mom's best friend, because her dad was a Baptist minister, and so I think that's a really neat thing for her. And then Let Me Tell You About My Jesus, I wanted a song that had My Jesus in the title. So I looked in the back of the hymnal and found that. And so this is the one that I'm going to use for that. So I wanted you guys to be prepared for that on Friday so that I didn't just show up and say, okay, you need this. So you've got today, tomorrow, and then on Friday is when we'll do it. So you've got 2 days to kind of prepare and decide on what page you want to use for that project, okay? So go ahead and start looking for that and being prepared for that. And we're going to do that on Friday morning, and I will probably start Friday morning around 10 o'clock. So we'll do 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on Friday morning, okay? All right, so now that we've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started on our orange today. I'm going to go ahead and grab my paper, and I'm going to grab my wood and get this taped down. All right, so if you have not taped yours down, go ahead and grab some washi tape and start working on getting that taped down. I am going to, that's almost gone, so I'm going to throw that away. So grab a roll of washi or some painter's tape or some art tape if you like art tape, and we are going to go ahead and tape down our borders. So I'm going to do about a 1/4 inch border all the way around, and then we will get going on drawing. Now, I'm concerned about this because I'm not very good at drawing circles. Now, I know an orange doesn't have to be a perfect circle, but the slice needs to be close. So we are going to hope that I can do that. Now, I do have a circle maker, but I don't know if I want to use it because I don't think I want it to be perfect, but it needs to look like a circle. So we're going to have to, I may have to try it more than once today. Perfect, Ginger Kelly. I hope that you will come on Friday. And I can tell you guys, I got my hymnal at just my local antique store, and I keep it on hand for projects like this. So you can get them for really inexpensive at like antique stores and resale shops. So they're super easy to, I mean, I come across them all the time. So, well, Rhonda, I will upload it to my Tube of You so that you can follow along whenever you have the ability to. All right. Yes, I will. Yeah. Sorry. I just saw your comment asking that. Yes, I will be posting it, of course. All right. Any questions before we get going on this? I'm going to be using my Nic Pro pencil, and we're going to draw our little orange slice. Now, just check. Let me just see. I don't think I have a circle that's even big enough anyway. So, see, that would be too small. And my one that draws bigger circles is messed up because my grandson accidentally spilled some acetone on it, and it melted it. So so I'm going to have to draw my circle unless I guess I could use, no, that's not big enough either. All right, we're going to have to draw a circle, guys. So we're just going to go for it. So everybody just draw the circle. I am terrible at drawing circles. All right, that's not horrible. I do have a tool, but it's not one that I can use right now because it's messed up. I have some jar lids, Rhonda, but they're in the house. So, but honestly, I probably could have used this. Yeah, I could have used this, but I think that's all right. I don't want it to be a perfect circle because it's an orange and they're not perfectly round. So we're going to go with this one. I don't think it's too bad. It's easier if you rotate your paper rather than trying to rotate your pen or your pencil. So just FYI. All right, now we're going to draw our little stem coming out kind of to the side here. Okay, and it's going to be, you're going to draw it kind of off to the side and you're going to do a little circle right here on top like that. And then we're going to, let me find my, let me get my eraser to erase that. Still didn't erase very good. Let me use this small eraser that's on my pencil. There we go. All right, and we're going to need to open up a spot right here for that stem and the leaf to come off of this. All right, so our stem for our leaf is going to kind of come out like this. And then we are going to bring our leaf. It's the same way we drew those leaves yesterday. Or whatever day we drew all those leaves. Around. It's like an S and then a parentheses. Okay, so there is our leaf. Now, we're going to want to kind of sketch out our slices. So we're going to do, and they're going to kind of be round on the corners. That's the center, which we don't really need a circle in the center, so I better not do that. I'll mess it up. Now this is where I'm worried because I don't know how to space these out just right. I probably should have marked that. Let's try it like this. Let me mark it. See, that's not going to work. So hang on. Try it again. I'm just having to space these out. So I want to like there to there, and then there to there, and then there to there, and then here to here, and then here, oops, to here, here to here, and then here to here. All right. Let me erase this one. So here to here, and then here to here, and then here to here. I think that'll work. It's going to be close. Thank you, Jamie. Yeah, that helps. Okay, so let's go ahead and go with our first little slice. We're going to round that out like this. And then same thing here. These are just guides. Remember, we can adjust these if we need to. I just want to be able to kind of have an idea of where these slices are going to go. They're not going to be perfect. Which is fine. They don't have to be. Because what fruit do you know that's perfect? Okay, so there's my guide. Now I can kind of adjust accordingly. So like I want to adjust this one right here a little bit. There we go. Okay. All right, so there's my slices. What do you guys think of that? Is everybody else struggling with these slices like I was, or is it just me? Erase some of these guidelines that I had on here. All right, so there is the orange slice. And we will end up with kind of, we'll do the eyes over the top of the slices once we've got the slices done, okay? So, do we need to bring these tips in further, you think? What do y'all think? I feel like maybe they're not long enough. Let me see what I can do with these. Yeah, that's better. Okay. All right, so there it is. I'm going with that. Y'all give me some comments in the comment section and let me know if you guys are ready to move on to the next step. I just kind of need some feedback so that I know that I'm not moving too fast or, for that matter, too slow. All right, Kelly's ready. What about everybody else? All right, we are going to move forward. Let's go ahead and use our kneaded eraser and roll it across the top and get some of these dark lines off, because we're going to be using oranges and yellows, which means that the harsh lines are going to show through. So we want to make sure that we get those kind of lightened up. So I'm going to use my kneaded eraser for that. And then I'll just have kind of a little shadow of the guides for myself. Okay. All right, so there it is. I kind of made this a little too dark or too light. I just give myself a little bit of those guides back. Okay. All right. Okay, we're going to be using detail brushes for most of this because we're going to want these gaps in between here to stay pretty clean. They don't have to be perfectly clean, but we do want that white there. We can use a gel pen if we need to fix it, if we mess it up and all that, but just want to try to keep them as clean as possible. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go around the slices and I'm going to give it the, I'm going to put some clear water in there. So let's go ahead and put our background on, and then we will start in that, where that is. So I'm going to take some clear water and I'm going to go kind of just at the top, and I'm going to add my blue in there. And then I'm going to dry my brush off, and I'm going to just dab this up. I want it to be kind of splotchy, so. Okay. And once again, y'all, I have a piece of my hair right here, and I cannot stand it when I do that. There. All right. Okay, so we have the background there done. I'm not going to worry about the ground just yet. We're going to do that afterwards like we did yesterday, or like we've done every day when we've done this fruit. But let's go ahead and dry this. Okay, and then once we have that dry, we can start working on our base. Now, I'm going to grab me a dry paper towel really quickly. Now that I've moved my desk all around, I have to stand up to grab a paper towel. So I'm used to it was right in front of me, and I haven't quite gotten used to it not being right there in front of me to grab quickly. Okay, let's go ahead now and shift to our base color. I'm going to use the orange yellow, which is in the second section of your primaries. Okay, so it's right by this like neutral, whatever color that is. Let me pull it and I'll tell you what it is. Okay, so, oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry, guys. Here it is. Okay, so we're going to use this yellow orange right here. It's beside the light tan jello. Okay, that is what we will be using for our orange slice today. And we might even have to use a little bit of the other yellow that we used, that same yellow that we used for the pineapple. Let me get it out. Hang on. There it is. So this yellow right here. But I don't know for sure. I think this is probably going to be fine. It's just going to be depending on how we saturate it. All right. Now I'm going to use my golden maple detail brush. And I'm going to be using the 12 to start. And I'm going to go in here and I'm going to put water all in this section right here. Okay. And I'm going to do it in sections because I don't want it to dry. I'm going to go around that stem. All right. But we want it. And I'm going to take my orange. And what we want to do is we want to stay on the outside edge. And we're going to go right along the outside edge. And we're going to let the water kind of do the work for us. And it's going to kind of spread. We just don't want to do too much. Okay, we want to keep that white space in between our slices. So make sure if it starts spreading too much, you pick up that color, because you want to have that sort of white space there. Okay. You know what? I didn't move y'all to the overheads. Let me do that. I don't know why I didn't. I forgot. For you guys to see. There. That'll be better. Okay. All right. Now, from here, what I want to do is I want to reach in and grab some of this orange color, which is in the section beside it. Actually, yeah. This. Oh, no. I'm going to use this one right here. Okay. So what I want to do with this color is just barely, teeny tiny little bit along the edge, just to bring out the orange. And it's dry. I'm not doing this with a wet technique. Okay, just like that. So we've got the orange layer, and then we have kind of a yellow orange layer. Now I want you to wet your brush with clean water, and I want you to kind of just go along that line and soften it up just a little bit. Okay. And then go ahead and rinse your brush and move to the next section of your yes, much better with that orange in it. I agree. Otherwise, it was going to look like a lemon, which we don't want. We want it to look like an orange. All right, so grab your yellow. And go right along the edge. Don't let it spread too much. You want to keep that white border. Pick it up if you have to. If you want to pick up color, you have to dry your brush. You need to rinse your brush, dry it, and then drag it along to pick the color up. Okay. Then let's just do all of the yellow all the way around, and that'll give it time to dry, and then we'll go back with the orange after that. Now that we know how we're going to do it. Pick up that color. You will need enough that you can see the yellow after you put the orange on. So make sure there's enough of yellow that you have space. Okay. Let's put some more clear water on there. Clean water. And go in with your yellow. Just remember, if you have too much water, it'll spread really fast, which is what just happened there. So dry your brush and pick it up. It's okay for it to have a little bit of a yellow tint all the way up to the slices because it fades out, so that's okay. When you see me reach across, it's because I'm drying my brush, because I want it to be dry so that I can pick up color. All right. All right, once we have that done, we will go back with our orange. So now we're going to take that orange. We're going to go right along the edges. And go ahead and smooth that out with your wet brush. You don't want it to be too harsh. You want it to kind of fade into that yellow. So I've got clear water on my brush, and I'm just brushing that out so that it doesn't have that harsh line. Okay, and do that again. Oops, that's a little bit too much. And rinse your brush, clear water, smooth it out so you have no harsh lines. Kind of just pull that color. Okay. Very good. All right, don't forget to tap the screen. Don't forget to share it out. Tap, 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 guys. Tapping is clapping. All right. Thank you so much for those likes. All right, clear water. Clear water. All right, we're making some progress on this rind here. I gotta turn on my AC, y'all. Sorry if it's too loud, but it's very, very hot in here. All right, so let's grab. Is that too loud for y'all, that AC? If it is, I can turn on my microphone that reduces the noise, the background noise. Let me know if it's too loud. Oh, good, Kinder Kelly. Thank you for that feedback. I have a window unit in my studio, so I always worry about it being too loud. Now, see how that orange kind of covered up the yellow? I'm going to put water on that, and I'm going to dry my brush, and I'm going to pick up that color as best I can so that that yellow comes back through. And then I'm going to smooth this out a little bit more. Okay. All right, let me take a drink of my coffee so my throat doesn't get too bad. All right, clear water. Smooth that over. All right. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I think I want to use some more of this yellow, but I want it to be very, very light. So I'm going to put it on here, and I'm going to give it tons of water. I'm going to lighten it up a whole bunch. And I'm going to go right along here and just kind of make sure that we have some yellow in there in all this, all the way around. But I'm not going all the way up to the slices, okay? I'm just going around with the light yellow. So that we have that yellow in there. Okay? All right. So we have an orange, it's fading to a yellow, that's fading to a white. That's what we want. Now, we're going to do our slices a little bit differently. What we're going to do with our slices is we're going to take our orange. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do one, and we're going to do them all this exact same way. We're going to take our orange, and we're going to go right along the top right here, like this, okay? And we're going to just drag that to about halfway. So we're going to pull it with clear water, okay? So pull it with clear water to about halfway. Then we're going to take our yellow, and we're going to go in right here at the tip. We're going to rinse our brush, and we're going to take clear water, and we're going to drag that yellow up to the orange. And we're kind of blending those together. Okay, so that's how we're going to do our slices. Now, in the center, we want it to be a little lighter, so dry your brush and just kind of pick up just a little bit of that color, not a ton, just enough to give it a little bit of a highlight right in the middle. Okay, I don't know what these things are right here. It's like little black spots. I don't know if it's pencil or what, but it's driving me nuts. It's almost like I dropped something black on it. Okay, so that's that slice. Now, let's do the next one. Again, we're going to take our orange, okay, and we're going to go right across the top. Rinse your brush, and then drag that color down into your slice. If you don't have enough color, add some more. That's okay. And then we're going to do the yellow in the bottom of this one. Okay, rinse your brush, drag it up. And bring those together. And again, water in the center, dry your brush off, and just pick up a little bit of that center color. So you have kind of that highlight in the middle. Now, if the rind is looking like it's not kind of symmetrical with the one beside it, you can add in more. I'm going to make this a little bit thicker in this darker orange section because I feel like it needs to be a little more cohesive with the one beside it, and I don't think I went dark enough. Although they don't have to be the same, y'all. They don't have to be uniform. It's a fruit. It's not ever going to be perfect. Okay. All right, now we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so go ahead and get your orange. And go right across the top here. Rinse your brush. And drag your color. Now take your yellow and put it in the bottom. Thank you so much for that, Heart Me. And take a clean brush and drag it up and mix those together till they join in the center. Now, again, dry your brush. Make sure your brush is clean and dry, and pick up just a little bit of that color in the center of your slice. So that you have that highlight. Okay. All right. Next one. All right, let's go ahead and get your orange. Now take some water, just clean water, and drag your color down. Okay, then take the yellow. Clean water, and drag your color up. And mix them together. And then dry off your brush and pick up some of that color in the center. Okay, next one. Hang on one second. I just need to check this really quickly. All right, hang on. Okay, go ahead and put your color in. Rinse your brush, get clean water, and drag that brush or that color all the way down about halfway. And then clean water and drag your yellow up. Blend them together and take a clean dry brush and pick up some of that color in the middle and give it that highlight. Okay, so they're all exactly the same as we go through our orange. Okay, so just keep doing the exact same thing as you're doing on each little slice. Rinse your brush, take some water, drag it down. You want to make sure you have enough water that it doesn't dry before you meet it with the yellow. That's the issue that can cause it to kind of have harsh lines, and we don't want that. So just make sure you kind of keep it wet enough in the orange that you can blend. Okay, now take your brush and lift. We may have to bring those in some. I don't know. We'll see how that looks when we get done. Okay, next one. All right, take your brush and pick up, dry brush, and pick up some of the color so that's got a little center highlight. Last one. All right. Okay. Clean water. Drag it down. Make sure it's got enough water to stay wet. And then add your yellow. drag it up. And take your clean brush, lift. All right, so there is our slices. You guys give me some feedback in the comments as to where you're at so that I know if it is time to move on or if I need to hold off and let you catch up. Okay, Jody's got 2 left. All right. Kelly's caught up. All right, I'll give you just a little bit longer. I think it looks good so far. Now there's a few things that I want to fix. There's a little bit of a harsh line on this blend right here I don't like on this one, so I'm going to fix that. Maybe we can get it to fix. You just see, maybe I'll put a little bit of yellow in there. That'll kind of cover that, and then pick that up and see what happens. Yeah, that made it better. Okay, so so that's where we're at now. The dark orange around this edge I really like, and I want this to be a little darker around the border, so I'm going to go ahead and add in a little bit around my border now, because I didn't go as thick as I feel like I should have on the border now that I have the slices done. So I'm going to kind of go along here. And give myself a little bit more of a thicker border. Yeah, that looks better. I'm going to use some clear water to kind of just blend that so we don't have this harsh line here. This takes time, guys, so you cannot get in a hurry with this when you're blending layers like this. You just have to remember that it's going to take, it takes time. So clear water. And also remember, it's not going to be perfect because it's an orange, and oranges aren't exactly, you know, they're not going to be, it's not going to be uniform all the way around, and that's okay. You know, some of the orange is darker than the other or thinner than the other or whatever. You don't have to stress over it because it's an orange and it doesn't really matter. It's going to be fine because it's fruit, and fruit is not exactly uniform. Okay. It's getting there. Just takes a little bit of time. Again, I'm just using clear water to blend it out. Once I put the color on, I'm just blending it out with clear water to get rid of that harsh line. Okay. All right, so there we are so far. That's where we're at. Y'all let me know what you think so far and where you're at in your journey as far as what yours is looking like so far. I think it's looking cute. I like it so far. I'm actually kind of impressed. I didn't think I'd be able to pull that off. Now we're going to do our little highlights and stuff like that with our gel pen. So don't worry about the white highlights and stuff that need to be on it. We're going to add those in just a little while. Okay. All right. Y'all give me some feedback. Let me know where you're at. And then if we're ready to move on to the stem and the leaf, because that's going to be next. So are we ready to do that? Because if we are, then I will move on to that next. All right. Kelly says, yes, she's ready. All right. I think Kelly and Jody are the only ones painting with me today. So 50% is ready. All right. I'm going to go ahead and dip into my green. And now what I want to do with this green right here is I want to make sure that this is all wet around here, because the green, I want to kind of come out of the rind. I don't want it to look like it's a harsh line. So I made this wet all around the stem, and I'm going to go ahead and dip into my green. I'm going to use these two greens. I'm going to use these two right here, the same two that we used yesterday, which are the, hang on and I will tell you, the apple green and the jade green. Okay. Those are the two that we're using next. All right. So let's go ahead and drop in just a little bit of green. See how that kind of spread out? We want that to happen, because then it kind of blends into the stem or into the rind, and it doesn't look so harsh. Now we're going to bring that up. Okay. Now go ahead and rinse and pick up just a little bit of that. Kind of let it spread and fade. Pick up just a little bit of that. Kind of let it spread and fade. Oh, did I have that on screen for you guys? I don't know if I was off screen or not. I'm sorry. All right. Any questions so far? Any issues so far? All right, let's move on. Okay, so we're going to go into our leaf now. So go ahead and grab your green and bring it into the leaf. Okay, now I'm going to switch brushes for this because I want, I'm going to switch to the Meeden #1. So it's a little bit bigger brush because this is a little bit bigger area. So we don't necessarily have to use that detail brush. So I'm going to go ahead and put that grass green in the entire leaf. Okay. And while it's wet, we're going to add in the darker green on this left side. And just kind of tap that in there. And let that kind of spread. Remember, it'll do the work for you. You don't have to do it. Okay. If you need to help it out, you can by tapping it, but you really don't. I mean, it can do its own thing. Okay. So let's go ahead and dry that. Welcome in, guys. If you are just joining us, I am Ellen. We do a daily watercolor tutorial. We are working on a fruit series. These are the ones that we've done so far. We've done the pineapple. We have done the blueberry. We have done the watermelon. And we have done the strawberry. And today we are doing an orange. All right. And we have done the strawberry. And today we are doing an orange. All right. Okay, I'm going back to my detail brush now for this part. And I'm going to, first of all, I'm going to blend this little harsh line out right here. I don't like that. If you want to learn how to paint with watercolors, join us every day here on TikTok. And I will be happy to guide you. I learn as I go. I'm not a professional artist. I just simply picked up a brush and paints one day and started watching videos and learning how to draw and all the things. So we learn together in this community, and it is fun, and we enjoy each other's company and visit and hang out and paint. So if you don't know how to paint and you want to learn, anybody can learn to do this. You do not have to be a mad talented artist to be able to watercolor. Watercolor is very forgiving and easy to learn. So, all right, let's go ahead and take this darker green now with our detail brush. And we're going to do our veins. So very light touch down the stem. So I got to get a little water on my brush. Okay. If it's too much, just kind of fade those out with some clear water. I don't like them to be super, I want them to be very, very subtle. So just take some clear water and go over them and just kind of blend them until they're subtle enough for you. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right. Very good. Okay, it's time to go ahead and start on the face. Now, when we do the face, we're going to do it with gel pens today because we need to go over, we need to layer it. Now, we could use gouache paints if we wanted to. We could also use acrylic markers, but I am going to use acrylic gel pens because they're the easiest for me to control. So there are two different gel pen sets that I use for this, and I'm going to show you both of them so that you have an idea. The very first one is going to be this ZSCM retractable gel pen set. It's the 100 pack, and it comes with a black and a white in this set. This set is made, it comes in a leather case. Whoops, sorry. Didn't mean to bump that. Move this out of the way. It comes in a leather case. And these pens are absolutely gorgeous. You get 100 different pens. You get neons. You get regular colors. You get pastels and macaroons. And you also get metallics and glitter. Okay, and it comes in this nice little case. So this is the first set that I'll be using, and I'm just going to be using the black and the white out of this set for now. So, just so you know, that's the first one. So, the thing I love about these pens is they have this little section in them for you to put a swatch in. So, you can see exactly what color the pen is going to write before you even write with it. And you don't have to keep up with a swatch card. And they're retractable, so there's no lid to keep up with either. So these are a great set. I love, 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 love this set. It is my favorite gel pen set, hands down. However, the tips are a little larger. They're a 1 millimeter tip. So if you need a smaller tip, which is what we are going to need for oh, I pulled that out by accident. Okay, so we're going to need a smaller tip for some of this. And so that is where my Lango gel pens come in. That are these. This is a 90 color gel pen set. You get all of these beautiful colors. Okay, so that is the next, that's the other set that I'll be using. So let me pull those up for you guys. I think they're way down here, yeah. Okay, so that's this set. And this set has so many beautiful colors. And again, these are retractable as well. But the thing about these is they have a very small tip, as you can see. It's a 0.7 tip. So with these, I can do smaller areas, like the whites around the eyes. So those, I'm going to pull the white out of that because we will be definitely using the white. We might even use the black. So I'm going to go ahead and pull. Oh, I pulled out a pink. That was a white pink. I didn't mean to do that. White and black. So I'm going to pull out the white and black out of this set as well. Okay. All right. So it is time to do the eyes. Okay. Now I'm going to draw them with a pencil first because I want to make sure that I get them in the right spot and all the things. I don't want to mess it up. Okay. So we are going to do one eye about right here. Draw it really light. And I'm going to do one right here. Okay. Our mouth is going to go right here. And we're going to have our tongue right there. Okay. We'll have our eyebrows right here. Okay. All right. So I have those drawn. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our black ZSCM gel pen and we are going to, where is my, hang on one second, find my scratch paper. I've got to start a new one because I've used my other one all up. I like to write with these first, just scribble and just make sure that there's no dried ink on the tip of them, because the thing about gel pens is it's acrylic paint, and so the paint will dry on the tips of these, and in order to gel pens is it's acrylic paint, and so the paint will dry on the tips of these, and in order to, you know, in a while. So you just want to make sure. All right, so now we're going to go and we're just going to go all the way around our eye. Okay. Okay, so we have our eyes drawn out. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the black part first, which is going to be like right here. We're going to fill that in. And the reason I'm doing the eyes before we do the white highlights on the slices or on the little wedges is because that's pretty tedious. And there are sections that we won't have to do if we go ahead and cover them up. So, all right, so we're going to go ahead now and we're going to go with the black that's going to go here. Okay, now, I know that looks weird, but it won't once we get, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to do it like this. I'm not going to do those eyes the same. Okay. That's better. All right. Now, let's dry that. Remember, this is acrylic paint, so you want to make sure it's dry. Now, these Lango pens, just so you know, Kelly, thank you so much for that purchase. You're going to love these Lango pens. I'm telling you, they are really, really good. When you get them in, they come in this great box, and they come in trays, and when you open them up, it's like, it's going to bring you so much joy when you open them up. I promise you. You're going to remember this conversation when you open them and go, "Oh, she was right." These do bring me joy. All right. Okay. So now we are going to I'm going to take the Lango blue and do the blue part of the eye next. And do the blue part of the eye next. Now these Lango pens have the upgraded ink for layering. So you can layer them on top of each other, which is really nice. But you want to make sure they're dry before you try to do that, because otherwise you'll end up with just a muddy mess of acrylic paint all mixed together, and you don't want that. So just make sure they're dry. All right. Now we're going to add in our white. Very good. Dry it. Now I'm going to take my smaller black, my Lango black, and I'm just going to go in these areas where we need to cover the areas where it kind of overlapped the black and we want it to blend better. There. Okay. All right. So now we're going to give it the eyebrows. I like to make my eyebrows a little bit thicker on the insides than on the outsides, like that. Okay. And now we are going to do the mouth. Okay. And now we're going to grab the red. Hang on, I gotta find something. I gotta look at my blueberry mouth and see how I did the tongue on there. Okay. So now we're going to grab the red or pink or whatever color you want the tongue to be. I want my tongue to be this like burgundy color. Or not really burgundy, but it's like a, I don't know, what color would y'all call that? Fuchsia? Okay. Sorry, let me see, catch up on comments in case there's any I missed it. Did I use? Yes. I used it for the eyes. I haven't used the white pen for the lines and the slices yet. Thank you, Tipsy Gypsy. Sorry, I'm just catching up, guys. I apologize. I kind of got lost in what I was doing and wasn't paying attention to the comments coming through. Okay, so let's go ahead now and color the tongue. Just like that. And now take your black and let's put our eyelashes on. Okay, so cute. All right, now it is time to start making some texture on our little cute orangey guy. All right, so what we're going to do, I'm going to use the Grabby 003 multi-liner. This is a 003. Okay, it's a teeny tiny little tip. You can barely even see it. And guys, it is waterproof. So if we have to put paint or something over the top of it, then it won't be an issue because, Ginger, thank you so much for that purchase. You're going to love those pins. I'm going to tell you what I told Kelly. You're going to open them up, and as soon as you see them, you're going to have so much joy in your heart. It's going to make you so happy. Just the packaging and everything is amazing. I love them so much. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go in here and kind of put, just a few little teeny tiny dots along the edging where the texture would be. feel like this music is bringing us to like a climax of our painting. And it's just random. I'm not doing anything in any kind of pattern, but I'm making sure that they're really, really light. I don't know if you guys can even see them because it's so, I'm doing them so small. And I'm only doing them in the orange and orange yellow part of the rind. I'm not going into the white at all. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do next, though, is I'm going to take my white Lingo pen. Oh, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're learning, Ginger. Can you tell if my order went through for the pens? Did you order today, Jody, during the live? Because if so, it's not showing up. I'm not seeing it. It should pop up on my screen, and it did not. It's showing I have 2 orders, one from Kinder Kelly and one from Ginger Kelly. All right. Now I'm going to take my white, and I am going to give myself a few little white dots around the rind. Not a ton, not near as much as the black. Just a few. Excuse me. These Lingo pens are awesome, y'all. And again, for the 0.7 millimeter tip, they're my very favorite set. The ZSCM is my favorite set for the 1 millimeter tips. Okay, so now I have the white along the rim or along the rind there. Jody, that just came through. So, wow, you got a deal on yours. You must have had a coupon. Holy cow. That's a really great price for those. Thank you so much for that purchase. You're going to love them so very much. All right, now this is where I'm a little nervous to start, but we're going to try it. Okay, so the idea behind it is to do, matter of fact, I'm going to try it on here first, just because I want to make sure that it's going to work the way I think it's going to work. So I'm going to practice really quickly, guys. I don't want to mess this little guy up. Kind of looks like candy corn. Okay, where is my paper towel? All right, so there's my wedge. What we're gonna do. Thank you, Yvonne. I'm here every day. As a matter of fact, I'm planning on doing weekends this weekend because I'm trying to get a 14-day straight live, because TikTok tends to pick up your lives better once you do a 14-day straight. So I'm actually going to do Saturday and Sunday this week, which I normally do not do. I normally do Monday through Friday. But since the new takeover US TikTok, it's kind of done some weird things, so I need to do another 14-day stint. So I'm going to do that. So I'll be teaching this weekend as well. Okay, so now this is what we're going to do. We're going to take our white and we're going to do just these little striation lines. And then at the tip, we're going to kind of dot, make that tip like that. Okay, so that's kind of, can you guys see that? Let me move it up. That way I can lift it and y'all can focus on it. So that's the plan. Well, so let's try it. I'm a bit concerned that I'm going to mess it up by doing this, but it's got to have these lines. Nope. I think they need to be more jagged, not so straight. This is the part I was really worried about. Yes, a white pencil will work, Jody. It surely will. Matter of fact, if I'd thought about that, I probably would have done that, honestly. Would have been a little bit less obvious. But this is all right. It doesn't have to be perfect because remember, it's not realistic. It's a character. I mean, that's the whole point of me doing, when I do my drawings, they're always whimsical. And the reason I do that is because I am not a realist artist. I don't have the talent to be a realist. I just don't. I don't have the ability to do the shading and stuff that you need to be a realism painter. And so I just do whimsical characters. And that way I can, you know, they don't have to be perfect and they don't have to look exactly the way they need, you know, exactly like, say, you know, an actual orange. So. Okay. Now, let's dry it, and then we're going to put the cheeks in. And then we'll be ready for our ground. I'm not going to go as crazy as I did yesterday on the ground. I kind of went a little too much on the strawberry, on the ground for the strawberry yesterday. So we're going to keep it light today for the ground. All right, let's do the cheeks. We're going to take and put some clear water right here and some clear water right here. Okay. Now pick whatever pink you want to pick that's in your palette and drop it in to those cheeks. I accidentally had too much water in there. Let's try that again. You want them to be noticeable, so they look like cheeks instead of mistakes. Get mine a little bit darker. There we go. All right, now let's dry them. All right. And I'm going to give some little white freckles. Nope, I'm going to use black freckles. I'm going to use my Lango black. And I'm going to give it just a little bit, some freckles. Okay. All right. Now, let's shift back to our watercolors. And we're going to take I'm going to take my Meeden number 3 brush. And I'm going to take some clear water. Hang on, I got to clean my water. I got to dump it and get some clean water. Okay, so I'm going to take my clean water and I'm just going to put it right up underneath here. And I'm just going to add a little bit of a gray kind of shadow right up underneath this side. Okay, just like that. Just a little bit of a gray shadow. That's all we need. And then we are going to do our splatter paints. Now I'm going to use the darker orange that we use for the splattering, not the orange yellow. I'm going to use my Meeden number 1 brush. And I'm going to be very careful when I splatter and try not to do too heavy. It's always better to re-dip instead of banging harder. Okay, now I don't want to get carried away. So I'm going to use my detail brush and I'm going to do some smaller ones. Yep. There we go. Okay. Let's dry it and then we'll pull the tape. Y'all, this is so cute. This one's gonna go great with the other ones that we did in this series. I'll hold them all up in just a second. I'll get all of you guys. I'll pull all of the ones we've done so far. We have 2 more to go. We have some cherries and we have a peach. So we have 2 more in this fruit series. Keep in mind that if you have missed any of the ones in this series or any of my series, you can find those on my Tube of You So don't hesitate to go to my TikTok page and you'll see a place where you can find me on every channel. We didn't have to use any of our colored pencils today because the shading came out so well on this. I did not want to mess it up by accidentally messing up something on one of our colored pencils. So I didn't do a colored pencil today. I am going to clean up just a few of these. Lines. There we go. All right, that looks really cute. All right, let's go ahead and peel the tape. Look, y'all, it turned out so good. I love it. Super cute, super cute. All right, so this is the 4th in the summer fruit series. Thank you, Yvonne, for the rose. I appreciate that so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, so let me move y'all back down to where I can see the comments. And Kat, thank you so much for the heart me. I appreciate that. Okay, so here is, this is today's. This was the fruit for today. Let me find my other ones. All right, so I'm sorry. This was the 5th one in this series, guys. Sorry, we're further along in this series than I thought. Okay, so let's go through them so I can show you all of them. This was the first one. This was the watermelon. Remember, right here, you guys can get the replays. And I am Coach Ellen's creations on every channel. So there's the first one. Thanks, Kat. Here is the second one. This is the blueberry. Here is the third one. This is the pineapple. So stinking cute. Here is the strawberry. This is the one we did yesterday. Here is the orange, which is the one that we did today. Y'all, I don't know. The orange might just be my favorite. The blueberry was my favorite up to this point, but I don't know. I think the orange might have just taken the lead. I love him. He turned out so good. Okay, there is a couple things that I missed out on that I wanted to tell you guys about. Okay. Problem, they keep on saying an error. That's weird. I don't know, Stacy Lee. Thanks, Carrie. All right. I need to put the line on the tongue, the little divider line. So I'm going to add that in right there. So y'all can see that now. Okay. And when you sign your work, you always want to sign it with a waterproof pen and a very small tip. I use the 003 so that it doesn't accidentally get smeared by a drop of water or something like that. Okay. All right. Yes, Kat, the white dot in the eyes. Thank you so much. I forgot that yesterday too. Super frustrating. I don't know why I keep missing out on that. That's so strange because that's one of the first things that I do when I do eyes. I'm going to make sure this is... I will tell you that layering these ZSCMs is not the best. Now the Lango are designed to layer, but these ZSCM ones are not as well. There we go. Much better. Much better. They're acrylic paints, so they should be, let me just check. I think I might have the information And I can look that up for you. Let me just see, Jody. Hang on one second. Let me see what it does. If I pin them, it'll give me. All right. It doesn't say they're waterproof, but they're an acrylic pen, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't be. But you know what we can do? We can find out. Watch this. Let's just use them and see. Let's color this in, and let's dry it. And let's see what happens when we add water to them. All right, that's nice and dry. So let's just, well, here, I'll just use a brush and get some clean water. And let's see. Yes, they are. Okay. That is the orange that was in my water. It's not the black from the gel pen. So yeah. Looks like they're pretty waterproof. I mean, I guess you could probably smear them if you tried really, really hard. But if you're just wanting to like paint over them somehow, you know, if you have like a little, you want to put a little bit of paint on them, then, or water over them for something, they're going to be fine. Okay. In the orange, did you use white paint or did you? I used the gel pen. I used the Lango 0.7 tip gel pen for the white in the slices. So these little lines right here, these, are you talking about those? Those, I use this white gel pen for that. Around the circle in between the lines. This part, around the big circle and in between the slices, I didn't do anything there. I used, I just let the paint bleed down, and I just didn't put enough water for it to bleed all the way down. So that's just the white paper coming through. I didn't use any. You could use a white gel pen if you wanted to. Like, for instance, right here where it kind of got close, if I wanted to put a gel pen right there to cover that, I could, to make that whiter. So it's totally it's however you choose to do that. I just chose to leave it, you know, leave space so that I wouldn't have to worry about that. These Lango gel pens, we were talking about those being waterproof. These right here. The ones that are pinned right down here. We were just checking to see if they were waterproof. And they are, so. Okay. All right. Any questions on anything else that you guys have? So tomorrow, as far as I know, I have my grandkids tonight. My husband is sick, and my daughter is questioning whether she wants to bring them over tonight because he's sick and she doesn't want them to get sick. But I told her is questioning whether she wants to bring them over tonight because he's sick and she doesn't want them to get sick. But I told her, you know, keep them away and all that stuff. So I don't know if she's going to bring them over tonight or not. I hope she does in a week, but if she does, as far as I know, I have them, which means tomorrow I will be doing an evening tutorial. So I'm going to plan tomorrow. I'm going to shoot for between 5:30 and 6 tomorrow evening to start our tutorial. All right. So hopefully it will be a tomorrow evening, 5:36 Central Standard Time. We'll be doing our tutorial. If you see me any other time than that on live, it's because I'm doing other products. It's not an art tutorial. I always tell you guys when I'm going to do the tutorials so that you have time to plan and don't miss them. The rest of the time that if you ever see me live, it's because I'm doing coloring or I'm doing some products. selling products, because I do have, I mean, obviously this is my job. So I do come on here and sell products, as well as ask you guys to support my showcase whenever you can. So tomorrow's tutorial will be between, I will shoot for, I'm going to shoot for 5:30, but it'll probably be between 5:30 and 6 that I'm going to hop on. I'll send out all my notifications. You'll get it. If you're a part of my fan club, you'll get a notification that I'm live. So be sure you click the heart right there and grab that if you have not and you want to be notified when I'm live, so that you're notified. The other thing that you guys need to know is, if you're going to paint with me on Friday, you need to prepare in advance. So let me tell you what you're going to need for our Friday tutorial. So for Friday, you are going to need a page out of a book or hymnal. I'm using a hymnal. We're going to do a Mother's Day gift. So I am going to take the page, My Jesus, I Love Thee. This is going to be the page I'm going to do. And we are going to be doing some painting onto the page that can be framed or put on some wood, or however you want to do it. So this is the kind of the inspiration for that. Okay. So that's what we're going to be doing on Friday, and we will be doing it onto whatever page you have. So if you don't have a hymnal, you can get them at like resale shops and antique stores all day long. So this is the one I keep on hand, and I just pull out the songs when I want to. So on Friday, if you don't want to use a hymnal, you can use a page out of a book. If you don't want to do something that's like church related or Jesus related, you can do something that, say, maybe out of like the Webster's dictionary. I have one of those as well, and I pull pages out of that sometimes. And you can do a really cute little quote. However you want to, whatever you want to do is fine. I'm going to be doing this page out of the hymnal. Okay. So if you want to participate in that on Friday, we'll be doing that at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, Friday morning. And, come prepared with whatever page out of your book that you want to do. Okay. So that's the instructions for Friday. Alrighty. Now I am 2 people from reaching my goal for my fan club. So if you have not given your heart me today, please click the heart right up here and do the heart me and get us to our goal of 10. That would be awesome. That helps me so much in having the algorithm push me out to the FYP page. So please, if you have not done your fan club stuff today, then do that. Yes, Jody, tomorrow it will be sometime between 5:30 and 6 p.m. tomorrow, Central Standard Time. We will be doing the cherries tomorrow. We'll be doing the cherries for this tomorrow. Okay. Thanks, Cat, for sharing our live out. I appreciate that so much. So we are going to do the cherries tomorrow. Okay. So if you are wanting to participate in that, come ready with your paints. I will send out notifications. And if you're a part of my fan club, you'll get a notification. But just know that I'll be on between 5:30 and 6 to get started. And if I'm on at 5:30, it's going to be 6 o'clock before we get started, because I always have to go through all of our supplies and stuff. So just plan to hop on sometime between 5:30 and 6 tomorrow, and you will catch the tutorial and you can participate with us. Okay. Jody, I'm going to do a little bit of research, but I think we are going to use watercolor or gouache. I have gouache paints, and they would be really good too, but I think I want to use watercolor because I want it to be transparent. And if we use gouache, it's going to be more opaque than transparent, so you're not going to be able to see the words through it. And let me show you what I'm talking about. Let me find... Hang on one second, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Because I recently, just one second. I'm going to pull it up, the one that I really liked. So, this is the one that I really, really like. And this one is done with watercolors, and it's very transparent. So I feel like I'm going to end up using watercolors, but I might also use some gouache as well. I don't have a full plan just yet. I'm still working on it. But I wanted you guys to be prepared and know that you did need like a page out of a hymnal or something, a page out of a book or whatever. You guys know that I'm very faith-based and very faith-oriented. And so, of course, that comes from my mother. And my mother is a very faithful woman. And I want to create something that's going to be really meaningful for her. So that's why I'm using a hymnal. But hey, if that's not your game, then, you know, you can use Webster's Dictionary. You can use a page out of their favorite book. You can, you know, whatever you want to do, guys. That's totally and completely up to you. So I really think it might end up being kind of a little bit of a mixed media, Jody. You know, we'll use some watercolors. We might also use some gouache. We might even use some acrylics. So it might end up being a little bit of a mixed media project. But for the most part, my plan is to start with watercolors, and then we'll figure out from there what might need to be done. I even have some inks and stuff that I might do. So I have some of those, what are they called? The distress inks. Those would be really pretty on there. So there's just a lot of different ways we can go with it. And sometimes when I'm doing stuff like that, I just kind of play with it until and figure out what I need to use as I go. So hopefully, you know, I'll kind of have a plan before Friday as much as possible. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow at between 5:30 and 6 Central Standard Time. And we will be doing the cherry. And hopefully, Jody, I'll have a little bit more of a plan about Friday too. And I'll let you guys know kind of what supplies I plan to use to do that. I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably doing the one that I'm doing for my mom's best friend. I'll probably do that between now and Friday, so I'll kind of know what materials I need, and then I'll have a plan for you guys before Friday, so that I can tell you, like, these are what I'm going to use. You can find comparable supplies that you have in your studio, kind of thing. All right. Okay. All right. If anybody has any questions on anything before I go, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to hop off of here. I'm going to grab me some lunch, and then I have a doctor's appointment and that I have to be at the hospital at 1 for some tests that they're running. So I'm going to have to pop off of here and have some lunch and get out of here pretty quickly. All right, guys. So I will see you guys tomorrow at between 5:30 and 6 Central Standard Time. All right. Thanks to everyone who purchased today. I appreciate it so very much. Thanks to everyone who painted with me today. I had so much fun. Tomorrow we'll be doing the cherries, and I will see you guys back between 5:30 and 6 Central Standard Time. Bye.